before the noise of the day speaks, before fear tries to take the microphone, before yesterday's way attempts to sit on today's shoulders. Hear this truth clearly and boldly. You were not designed to face this day in your own strength. You woke up breathing because heaven allowed it. You opened your eyes because purpose is still calling your name. The same power that hung the stars is still active, still present, and still available to strengthen you right now. This morning is not random. This moment is not accidental. You are standing at the doorway of a new day, and your strength for today does not come from what you have, what you know, or who you are. It comes from above. So take a breath and let your heart settle into this reality. When your strength runs low, heaven's supply has not changed. When your energy feels drained, the source remains unlimited. When your confidence feels shaken, the foundation is still firm. The world may measure strength by muscle, money, or momentum, but real strength flows from a higher place. It flows from the one who never sleeps, never tires, and never fails. This morning prayer is a reminder that you do not walk into this day alone. The battles you face are not bigger than the power backing you. The pressures ahead are not stronger than the grace covering you. Even when you feel weak, there is a strength at work that does not depend on your feelings. Strength from above does not shout, it sustains. It does not rush, it remains. It does not panic, it stands steady when everything else is shaking. When you feel overwhelmed by responsibility, strength from above gives you clarity. When you are tired from carrying burdens you were never meant to carry alone, strength from above gives you rest without quitting. When doubt whispers that you are not enough, strength from above declares that you are supported by more than enough. You were never called to manufacture strength. You were called to receive it. As this day unfolds, challenges may come, but they do not come without provision. Temptations may appear, but they do not arrive without a way of escape. Decisions may weigh heavy, but wisdom is already available. Strength from above meets you right where you are, not where you pretend to be. It reaches you in honesty, not performance. It fills you when you admit your need instead of hiding your weakness. This strength renews your mind when negativity tries to dominate your thoughts. It steadies your emotions when circumstances try to control your mood. It guards your heart when disappointment tries to harden it. Strength from above teaches you how to stand without becoming bitter, how to move forward without becoming arrogant, how to remain peaceful without becoming passive. Even when progress feels slow, strength from above reminds you that growth is still happening. Even when prayers seem unanswered, strength from above assures you that heaven is still listening. Even when doors seem closed, strength from above prepares you for the next one that will open at the right time. You are not delayed. You are being developed. You are not forgotten. You are being fortified. This morning, let your soul lean into that truth. Let your spirit draw from the source that never runs dry. Let your confidence be anchored not in your circumstances, but in your connection. You don't need strength for the whole week, the whole month, or the whole year. You need strength for today. And today's strength has already been provided. So step into this day with lifted eyes and a steady heart. Walk into your responsibilities knowing you are supported. Face your challenges knowing you are empowered. Speak with confidence, act with integrity, and move with faith because strength from above is already working on your behalf. From the very beginning, you were never designed to carry the full weight of life by yourself. The pressure to be strong on your own, to figure everything out, to hold everything together, and to never show weakness is not a calling. It is a burden you were never meant to bear. Somewhere along the way, the world taught you that independence equals strength, but true strength was always meant to flow from dependence on a higher source. When you rely only on your own ability, you limit yourself to human capacity, human energy, and human understanding, But when you lean into strength from above, you tap into something that does not break under pressure or shrink under stress. Every morning you wake up, you step into a day filled with decisions, responsibilities, expectations, and challenges that demand more than natural ability alone. Some days require emotional strength you don't feel you have. Some days require mental clarity when your thoughts feel scattered. Some days require spiritual endurance when hope feels thin. Trying to face all of that in your own strength is like trying to power a city with a flashlight. It may work for a moment, but it was never built to sustain the load. That exhaustion you feel is not because you are failing. It is because you are carrying what was never assigned to you alone. Strength from above becomes available the moment you stop pretending you can handle everything by yourself. It flows when you admit your need instead of hiding it. It shows up when you release control instead of gripping tighter. Pride says, I've got this. Faith says, I need help. And it is not weakness to ask for help from heaven. It is wisdom. The strongest people are not those who rely on themselves the most, but those who know when to draw from a greater source. When you depend on your own strength, discouragement has the power to derail you. Failure has the power to define you. Fear has the power to freeze you. But when your strength comes from above, setbacks become lessons, delays become preparation, and challenges become opportunities for growth. You begin to realize that even when you feel insufficient, the supply backing you is more than sufficient. You stop measuring yourself by what you lack and start trusting what has already been provided. There is a peace that comes when you no longer feel pressured to be strong all the time. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to fix everything immediately. You don't have to prove your worth through performance. Strength from above gives you permission to breathe, to pause, and to move forward without panic. It teaches you how to stand firm without becoming rigid and how to stay humble without becoming insecure. As you shift from self-reliance to higher reliance, your perspective begins to change. You stop seeing obstacles as threats and start seeing them as moments where divine strength can show up. You stop fearing your limitations and start understanding that limitations are often the doorway for greater power to work through you. What once felt overwhelming begins to feel manageable, not because the situation changed, but because the source of your strength did. This kind of strength does not always remove the struggle, but it always provides stability in the struggle. It doesn't always silence the storm, but it anchors you so the storm doesn't destroy you. It doesn't always give you the shortcut, but it gives you endurance for the journey. When you stop relying on yourself alone, you discover that you were never walking unsupported, never fighting unbacked, and never standing unprotected. There are moments when your body feels tired, your mind feels overloaded, and your heart feels stretched beyond its limits. And in those moments, it is easy to assume that strength is gone simply because you can't feel it. But strength from above does not disappear when your emotions drop or when your energy fades. It operates beyond feelings, beyond mood, and beyond circumstance. Human strength rises and falls with sleep, success, and approval, but higher strength remains steady even when everything inside you feels unsteady. Feeling weak does not mean you are powerless. It means you are human. Weakness is not the absence of strength. It is the place where a deeper source of strength is meant to take over. When your hands feel empty, that does not mean heaven's supply is empty. When your confidence feels shaken, that does not mean the foundation has cracked. The mistake many people make is assuming that strength is measured by how motivated they feel, but real strength is often working most powerfully when motivation is lowest. There will be days when you wake up already tired, already discouraged, already questioning whether you can keep going. On those days, strength from above does not demand enthusiasm. It provides endurance. It does not ask you to feel bold. It teaches you how to stand even while trembling. It meets you in honesty, not hype. You don't have to feel strong to be strengthened. You just have to remain connected to the source that never weakens. This constant strength becomes most evident in moments of pressure. When disappointment hits, when plans fall apart, when people let you down, something within you keeps you from collapsing. You may bend, but you do not break. You may feel the weight, but you are not crushed by it. That quiet resilience is not accidental. It is the result of strength that does not depend on favorable conditions. It holds you together when circumstances are pulling you apart. Strength from above also guards you against quitting too soon. When emotions tell you to walk away, this strength reminds you why you started. When fear tells you to stop trying, this strength pushes you to take one more step. When fatigue whispers that nothing is changing, this strength sustains you long enough for growth to take place. Progress is often invisible in the moment, but constant strength keeps you moving even when results are delayed. There is also a freedom that comes with knowing strength does not rest on your performance. You are not strong only when you succeed, and you are not weak because you struggle. Strength from above is not earned by perfection, it is supplied by grace. That means you don't lose access because you had a bad day, made a mistake, or fell short of expectations. The supply remains even when you stumble. As you begin to trust this truth, you stop panicking when you feel weak. Instead of spiraling into self-criticism, you lean deeper into reliance. Instead of forcing yourself to push harder, you learn how to draw deeper. You recognize that weakness is not a signal to quit, but a signal to connect. It is a reminder that the strength sustaining you was never meant to originate from you in the first place. Over time, this understanding changes how you face life. You become less controlled by emotion and more anchored in truth. You stop measuring your capacity by your feelings and start measuring it by the faithfulness of the source supplying you. Even on your lowest days, there is a strength quietly holding you steady, keeping you upright and carrying you forward when you don't have the energy to carry yourself. Every challenge that rises in front of you does not appear without permission, and it does not arrive without provision. What you face today is not an accident, and it is not a surprise to heaven. Before the pressure showed up, support was already in place. Before the obstacle stood in your way, strength had already been assigned to meet it. Challenges are not evidence that you have been abandoned. They are often confirmation that you are being trusted with growth that requires more than your own ability. When difficulties appear, the natural response is to ask why. But a deeper question is how you will draw on the support that has already been made available. Every challenge carries within it an opportunity to experience strength beyond yourself. Without resistance, there would be no need for reinforcement. Without pressure, there would be no reason for power to show up. The very weight of what you are facing is proof that something greater than you is intended to carry it with you. Heavenly support does not always remove the challenge, but it always matches it. Sometimes the support comes as wisdom when confusion threatens to overwhelm you. Sometimes it comes as peace when anxiety tries to take control. Sometimes it comes as endurance when the situation refuses to change quickly. Support may not arrive in the form you expect, but it always arrives in the form you need. What looks like delay is often preparation. What feels like resistance is often refinement. There are moments when you feel stretched, not because you are failing, but because you are growing beyond old limits. Challenges force you out of self-sufficiency and into reliance on something higher. They expose the places where you have leaned too heavily on your own understanding and invite you to trust what you cannot see. In those moments, support becomes most visible, not as dramatic rescue, but as steady guidance, step by step. This support also protects you from being destroyed by what is meant to develop you. It can either crush or strengthen, depending on what supports you from within. With higher support, trials deepen your character instead of damaging your spirit. They sharpen your discernment instead of hardening your heart. They teach you how to endure without becoming bitter and how to remain hopeful without becoming naive. Every challenge you face today is temporary, but the strength you gain from overcoming it is permanent. Support ensures that you do not merely survive the struggle, but emerge from it with greater clarity and confidence. Even when the path feels uncertain, you are being guided. Even when the outcome is unclear, you are being sustained. Even when you feel alone, you are not unsupported. As you walk through difficulties, you begin to recognize patterns of faithfulness. You remember past moments when you thought you wouldn't make it, yet you did. You recall times when the solution appeared at the last possible moment. Those memories become evidence that support has always been present, even when you couldn't see it clearly at the time. The same support that carried you then is carrying you now. Challenges also prepare you to support others. What you learn through your own trials equips you to stand with those who are struggling. Your endurance becomes encouragement. Your experience becomes wisdom. Support received becomes support extended. In this way, challenges are never wasted. They become part of a greater story where strength flows not only to you, but through you, shaping your purpose and deepening your impact as you continue moving forward under the steady covering of support that has never left you. When the mind is overwhelmed, everything else begins to feel unstable. Thoughts race, emotions intensify, and decisions become clouded by fear, frustration, or fatigue. In those moments, what you need most is not more information or louder opinions, but renewed strength that brings order back to your inner world. Strength from above does not just help you endure pressure, it restores clarity when confusion tries to dominate your thinking and steadiness when uncertainty tries to shake your faith. Clarity is often the first casualty of stress. When life moves too fast or problems stack too high, the mind shifts into survival mode. You begin reacting instead of discerning. You start making choices based on urgency instead of wisdom. Renewed strength interrupts that cycle. It slows your thoughts, quiets the noise, and helps you see beyond the immediacy of the problem. Instead of being controlled by what is happening around you, your perspective becomes anchored in something higher than the situation itself. As your thinking becomes clearer, your faith becomes steadier. Faith does not mean the absence of questions. It means the presence of trust even when answers are incomplete. Renewed strength stabilizes that trust. It reminds you that uncertainty does not equal defeat, and that unanswered questions do not cancel purpose. The renewed strength, you learn how to move forward without needing every detail resolved. You gain the ability to take the next step with confidence instead of waiting for perfect conditions. This steadiness changes how you respond to pressure. Instead of being easily shaken by setbacks, you become more grounded. Instead of being driven by fear, you are guided by discernment. Renewed strength trains your heart to remain calm even when circumstances are loud. It does not remove emotion, but it prevents emotion from becoming your decision maker. You feel the weight of the moment, yet you are not controlled by it. Clarity also brings alignment. When strength is renewed, distractions lose their power. You begin to recognize what truly matters and what can be released. You stop wasting energy on things that drain you and start investing energy in what strengthens you. This alignment brings peace, not because everything is perfect, but because your focus is no longer divided. You know where you are going. Even if the path unfolds one step at a time, renewed strength also protects you from spiritual fatigue. When faith feels heavy and belief feels strained, clarity reminds you why you began this journey in the first place. It reconnects you to purpose when routine tries to turn passion into obligation. It shifts your posture from obligation to devotion, from pressure to trust. With renewed strength, faith becomes less about striving and more about resting in confidence that you are being guided. As clarity deepens, your confidence becomes quieter but stronger. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself or rush outcomes. You learn the power of patience, the discipline of waiting, and the wisdom of timing. Renewed strength teaches you that not every opportunity is meant to be pursued and not every battle is meant to be fought. Discernment becomes a safeguard, protecting your energy and preserving your peace. This kind of strength reshapes how you view the future. Instead of fearing what lies ahead, you approach it with assurance. Instead of expecting the worst, you remain open to possibility. Renewed strength keeps hope alive even when circumstances are uncertain. It allows you to plan without anxiety and prepare without panic. You become confident not because you know what will happen, but because you trust the source guiding your steps. Over time, renewed strength creates consistency in your walk. You are less reactive, more reflective, less anxious, more assured, less driven by pressure, more anchored in purpose. Even when challenges arise, your inner foundation remains firm. Clear thinking and steady faith become your default. Not because life is easy, but because your strength is continually being restored from a source that never weakens. One of the greatest misunderstandings about strength is the belief that you must stockpile it in advance, as if you need enough power today to handle everything that might happen tomorrow. That mindset tests anxiety because the future always feels heavier than the present. But strength was never meant to be stored. It was meant to be supplied daily. When you try to carry tomorrow's load with today's capacity, exhaustion becomes inevitable. Daily dependence frees you from that pressure and teaches you how to live one day at a time with confidence and peace. Each morning is designed to bring fresh power for fresh responsibilities. You are not asked to solve next month, fix next year, or anticipate every possible outcome. You are only asked to lean into the strength available for today. Daily dependence shifts your focus from control to trust. Instead of worrying about what might go wrong, you learn how to rely on what is already being provided. This kind of reliance is not passive. It is an active choice to draw strength intentionally at the start of each day. When you practice daily dependence, you begin your day from a place of connection rather than panic. Before problems arise, you ground yourself in the source of your strength. This grounding affects how you move through the day. Decisions become less rushed. Reactions become more measured. You are not constantly playing catch up emotionally or spiritually because you have already positioned yourself to receive what you need. Daily dependence also keeps pride in check. It reminds you that yesterday's victories do not guarantee today's success, and that past strength does not replace present reliance. Every new day requires fresh surrender. This is not a sign of weakness, but of wisdom. It keeps you humble, teachable, and open. It prevents complacency and guards against the illusion of self-sufficiency. There's also a freedom that comes with knowing you don't have to feel strong all the time. Some days you will wake up energized. Other days you will wake up tired. Daily dependence meets you in both conditions. On strong days, it directs your energy with purpose. On weak days, it supplies what you lack. This consistency builds confidence, not in yourself, but in the faithfulness of the source you depend on, as daily dependence becomes a habit. Fear of the future begins to lose its grip. You stop asking, what if I can't handle what's coming? And start trusting that when the moment arrives, the strength will arrive with it. This mindset reduces anxiety and increases resilience. You become more present, more attentive, and more responsive to what is happening now rather than what might happen later. Daily dependence also transforms prayer from a crisis response into a daily rhythm. Instead of turning to prayer only when things go wrong, you begin the day in alignment. This alignment creates spiritual momentum. It prepares your heart before challenge is tested and steadies your mind before stress confronts it. Over time, this rhythm becomes a source of stability that carries you through both ordinary moments and unexpected trials. This daily flow of strength allows you to sustain long-term purpose without burnout. You are no longer running on emotional reserves or borrowed motivation. You are drawing from a consistent supply. This keeps your passion from fading and your faith from becoming mechanical. Each day becomes an opportunity to receive anew, to reset your focus, and to move forward with renewed energy. As you continue practicing daily dependence, you begin to notice how power shows up exactly when needed. Words come when you need to speak. Patience rises when you are tested. Courage appears when you are afraid. Strength is no longer something you chase. It is something you receive moment by moment as you remain connected and open to the power being poured into your life day by day. When your life is powered by strength from above, it reshapes not only what you do, but how you do it. Your responses begin to change before your circumstances do. Where you once reacted quickly out of emotion, you now pause with discernment. Where you once felt pressure to defend yourself, you now stand secure without needing validation. This higher strength rewires your instincts, training you to respond with wisdom instead of impulse and with faith instead of fear. Walking in this strength gives you an inner authority that does not come from position, title, or recognition. It comes from alignment. You begin to move with confidence that is calm, not loud. You don't rush decisions just to feel in control. And you don't panic when outcomes take time to unfold. Strength from above allows you to lead your life with intention rather than being driven by urgency. Even in moments of uncertainty, you carry yourself with stability because your foundation is no longer tied to shifting conditions. This strength also changes how you handle opposition. Criticism no longer defines you, and resistance no longer intimidates you. You learn how to stand firm without becoming defensive and how to remain gentle without becoming passive. Strength from above gives you the courage to speak truth with humility and the restraint to stay silent when silence is wiser. You no longer feel the need to win every argument or prove every point because your identity is secure. As this strength works within you, it refines your character. Integrity becomes non-negotiable. Compassion becomes intentional. Patience becomes practiced. You begin to see leadership not as control, but as service. Whether you are leading in your home, your workplace, or your community, you influence others not by force, but by example. People are drawn to the steadiness you carry, the peace you exhibit, and the consistency you maintain, even under pressure. Walking in higher strength also a faith. CTS, how you face fear. Fear may still knock, but it no longer takes the lead. You acknowledge risk without being ruled by it. You step forward even when the path is unfamiliar, trusting that obedience is more important than comfort. This strength does not remove uncertainty, but it gives you courage to move through it. You stop waiting to feel fearless, and start acting faithfully. This way of living teaches you how to endure without hardening. Hard seasons no longer make you bitter, they make you better. You learn how to forgive without becoming naive and how to trust without ignoring wisdom. Strength from above protects your heart while keeping it open. It allows you to remain compassionate in a world that often rewards hardness and aggression. As you continue walking in this strength, your priorities begin to shift. Success is no longer measured only by achievement, but by alignment. You value faithfulness over applause and obedience over recognition. You learn that impact is not always immediate, and that influence often grows quietly. This perspective frees you from comparison and competition, allowing you to focus on the path set before you. Over time, this strength produces resilience that lasts. You are not easily shaken by change or discouraged by delay. When plans shift and expectations fail, you adapt without losing your peace. You understand that leadership is not about having all the answers, but about staying grounded when others are unsure. Your life becomes a reflection of steadiness in motion, faith in action, and confidence rooted in something far greater than yourself, shaping how you live, how you lead, and how you continue forward with quiet boldness and unwavering trust. As each new day unfolds before you,